Hey cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. I'm in front of the bike shop at Woodward Park. That's what it's called, the bike shop at Woodward Park here in Fresno. And I am meeting with a new client. We're going to go on a new client ride. This is where I start to evaluate some things. Actually, I know him. He's a teammate. And so I have an idea of his strengths and weaknesses. But we're going to go over some basic stuff. I'm going to show him some workouts I'm going to have him do in the beginning. We're going to do a bit of a TT test. He's a teammate. He's done some racing. He's raced back in the day, which means he's an older guy, but nowhere near as old as me. His main goal is going to be participating in the police games. I believe they're down south in June, early June. And then he also wants to do this huge Climb to Kaiser ride, which is going to be at the end of June. That's going to be a challenge in terms of how to work out the training on that. And we're going to be talking about that. Let's go out, let's go meet him. This is the new client that I was telling you about, Jeff Simpson. Now, Jeff is a teammate of mine, and he also has done some racing, 3 races each last few years. He's also raced back in the day. When was the day for you?
Oh, mid-80s, early 90s.
Were you local or were you somewhere else when you were racing? Where did you live? Did you live in the valley?
Mostly, no, I was in the service then. I was up in the high desert, Victorville, Apple Valley area. I did some racing down in Riverside and other parts of LA, some track racing.
And so the goal are the police games in early June, down south somewhere. Okay. And so basically that's time trial, crit, road race. Okay, and then the other one is the Climb to Kaiser, 150 miles, 15,000 feet of climbing, 3 weeks later. So that's a bit of a challenge to combine those two.
The Olympics is more important to me.
When I first start working with a client, their goals in the most basic sense is to get faster and stronger. The one item that I usually find that plays a major role in them achieving their goal is improving the efficiency of their spin technique. The first thing I worked with Jeff on are single leg spins. You unhook one leg, you spin with the other leg for 30 seconds, and you switch off and you do multiple repetitions of that. The object is to move forward in a smooth fashion, not a jerky fashion. You don't want to hear any knocking in the bottom bracket by creating a dead zone and then catching it later on in the spin. You may be thinking, how is doing this exercise going to make me faster and stronger? In the most simplest of terms, you can apply less power at every point in the spin and you'll go faster than applying a lot of power at just part of your spin. What you're seeing now is another exercise that I'm having Jeff do. It's called HC intervals, high cadence intervals. While it may sound simple, it can take a while to get the technique down. The object is to spin as fast as you can, go as fast as you can, in your easiest gear, without bouncing on your saddle, jerking the bike forward, or making any funny sounds out of your bottom bracket. To accomplish this, you just can't push down and pull up. You have to spin entirely around the circle. You have to pull through at the bottom like you're scraping mud off the bottom of your shoes and then kick over the top. In fact, the part of the spin that I have my clients focus on is from 4 to 8 o'clock for that 6 o'clock dead zone area and 10 to 2 o'clock kicking over the top over that 12 o'clock dead zone area. What you don't want to do is just push down and pull up like a piston and not pay attention to the dead zones. The next thing I had Jeff work on not only reinforced the building of efficient spin technique, but also cycling-specific leg strength. While most people call these SFR, slow frequency repetitions, I call them MT, muscle tension intervals, because of the extra technique of trying to pull your foot out at every point in the circle. This emphasizes that full circle spinning. This is done at 50 to 55 RPM, assuming you don't have any knee or hip issues. I usually start off my clients with 5-minute intervals. The first time they try this is a learning experience. One of the most difficult parts of this exercise is maintaining focus through the entirety of each interval. The next thing I had Jeff do was a time trial test. I use this as a benchmark, kind of a before picture, so I can track Jeff's improvement through our time together. In today's case, where the temperature was about 96 degrees at the end of the day, I'm not putting that much emphasis on it. Still, Jeff did a great job and did a lot better than I thought he was going to do. He certainly did a lot better than I would have done. As he finishes his time trial, the next step for me is to go home and work on his schedule. It is a personalized schedule based on his situation, his goals, and his timing. I send him a schedule one block at a time. Each block builds on the previous block. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some tips that you can use to improve your cycling. Remember, comment, like, subscribe. the Cycling Greek.